Hey there everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're anything like me, you probably grew up watching sitcoms where everything was solved in 22 minutes, with a hug, a laugh, and maybe a lesson along the way. Now, Growing Pains was one of those shows. Now we all remember Mike Seaver, played by Kirk Cameron, the cool older brother with the hair and the swagger. But today, I want to talk about someone who made me laugh just as much, if not more. Richard Boner Stabone, and most importantly, the actor who brought him to life, Andrew Koenig. Now I wondered, what was the story of Andrew's rise to fame? Why did he leave Growing Pains, and what happened to him after he stepped away from the spotlight? Now Boner was the classic sitcom best friend, a little clueless, totally earnest, and almost always in over his head. He was Mike Seaver's right-hand man. If Mike was jumping out of a window, Boner was probably the one holding the ladder, backwards. Andrew Koenig was cast as Boner in 1985, and he quickly became a fan favorite. That kind of lovable doofus was a staple in the 80s sitcoms, and Koenig nailed it. But Andrew wasn't just some new kid on the block. He came from a very Hollywood family. His dad was Walter Koenig, and you might know him better as Chekhov from Star Trek. So yeah, acting kind of was in his blood. And while Andrew didn't have a massive resume before Growing Pains, his natural timing and likability made Boner a standout, even in a cast packed with charisma. Boner was a part of Growing Pains for 4 seasons, from the early days in 1985 to his exit in 1989. And when he left, it was pretty abrupt. In the show, Boner joins the Marines, and that was kind of it. No big emotional send-off, no dramatic arc. One day he was there, the next, gone. So why did Andrew Koenig leave? Well, this isn't some scandalous behind-the-scene drama. For what I know, Andrew was simply ready to move on. Like a lot of young actors, he didn't want to be typecast or stuck as that one guy forever. He was growing up, and honestly, the world of sitcoms just didn't seem to fit what he wanted out of life anymore. And here's the thing, stepping away from a hit show in your early 20s, well, that takes guts, especially when that role made you a household name. After Growing Pains, Andrew stayed connected to the entertainment industry, but in more low-key and creative ways. He worked behind the camera as an editor and even dabbled in directing and producing small, independent projects. He also continued acting in minor roles, including an appearance in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, as well as playing Batman's archenemy, the Joker, in a short independent film called Batman: Dead End. But what really defined his post-Growing Pain years was his activism. Andrew was deeply involved in social causes. He traveled abroad, participated in human rights campaigns, and worked hard to use his voice and platform to support causes he believed in. He was a vegan and an activist for nonviolence. He had been quite involved in work on behalf of the people of Burma, protesting China's refusal to sanction the Burmese government's violation of its own people's rights. Quite simply, he wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was trying to live with a purpose. But despite those efforts, and the creativity and passion that he poured into everything he did, Andrew struggled privately with depression. In early 2010, after he was reported missing, his family and friends launched a very public search. Days later, Andrew was found in Vancouver. He had taken his own life. He was just 41. I'll be honest here. This part is a little bit hard to talk about because Andrew wasn't just a character on the screen. He was a person with a family that loved him and friends that cared about him. And it's easy to remember him as Boner from Growing Pains, the funny best friend, but I think it's just as important to remember Andrew Koenig for the thoughtful and passionate person that he was. His family, especially his father Walter, has worked to raise awareness around mental health in the years since. And I think that's part of Andrew's legacy too, reminding us that sometimes even the people that make us laugh the hardest are fighting battles that we just don't see. So please, if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please remember that help is available. You can connect with the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling or texting 988. So, in wrapping things up, yes, Boner was hilarious, and Andrew Koenig made that character unforgettable. Now here's where I want to hear from you. How many of you remember Andrew Koenig from his role as Boner on Growing Pains? And do you have any favorite memories of him on that show? I look forward to reading your comments. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel, where I mostly talk about the music, TV shows, and movies that I loved while growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, be kind to one another, and have a great day.